I know it's a little warm out, so those of you back in the sun, Al, apologize. So I'll be quick. So we have a lot of names. I apologize. There are a few names on this list that I did not get the spelling correct, and they're really hard to pronounce. So if I butcher your name, I really apologize, and don't take it personally. So starting with 5 years of service, Elaine Rivera, Sandy Beres, Reva Stroop, Cynthia Townsend, Karen Johnson, this is the tough one, Christina Sukavicius, Craig Madigan, Marketa Brania, Pandora Watkins, Kim Budhat, Rob Wilson, Rona Hubert, and Timothy Bottom. So congratulations. Next is celebrating 10 years, Karen Clarkson. Everybody loves to get paid, Karen. Charles Thompson, Adolfo Arroyo, Mandy Padu, Courtney Kohler, David Heiss, Tony Dolce, Jay Dutzman, Vesna Novsky, Brianna Atkins, Christine Egan, Maddie Stitt, Avia Washington, Tommy Ellis, Marty Conrad, Shannon Brandt, and Gilberto Velasquez. Now we're moving up to 15 years of service. Matt Jankowitz, Kevin Ferguson, Pavel Jamero, Nicolette DeMonte, Melissa McSwiggan, Curtis Schatz, Brittany Kukulski, and John Stinson. Now we're doing 20 years of service. Roosevelt Mayfield, Hugo Flores, Dave Robleski, Danny Williams, Pat Grady, and Laura Kodama. Okay, so now we're moving up to the big awards. So 25 years of service. So if Chris Perillo is going to introduce Fernanda Adame. You can still introduce him, even though he's shy.
Fernando was a little shy. He's one of our warehouse guys. He's a mainstay on our receiving dock. Us being the biggest DC, receiving a third of the company's volume most of the time. We stay ahead because of guys like Fernando. We stay current because of guys like Fernando. Our bigger trucks and our bigger POs, some of you in purchasing, our Libby, our Volrath, not easy to receive by any means. And he's one of the people who's able to take care of those for us. So appreciate everything he does. Thank you, Fernando.
You're going to see a lot of Chris today, so we'll go over the sheet though. Next, I'd like to introduce Bob Clagis, who is going to be introducing Christine Prado.
Thanks. Chris Prado. If I'm thinking of a word to describe her and what she means to Edward Don, the word is passionate. Have never met anyone more passionate about what she does, the time and effort she puts in, and all for the betterment of setting up accounts properly, making sure all the information flows freely, and just does a great job of taking care of that portfolio. So, Chris, 25 years, it's been awesome. And expect another 25. So that's it.
Okay, Chris Perillo back to introduce Hilda Solis.
Hilda was an easy speech to write. Hilda's fantastic. I joke a lot in the office about Hilda being the glue that holds it all together, and she really is. I think I can speak for any DC manager before me who had the opportunity and privilege of having Hilda be our admin assistant there. She has the answer to all the questions we don't have or we don't know. She's unbelievably organized, which is good for me because that is not a trait that I have. And on top of everything, she's the office therapist I'm going to go to when we do need a vent. I know I see Dan down there at times, just sitting in the therapist couch in her cubicle. I don't know how she got to 20 years, but she's only 30. But she made it. I couldn't do my job without you, Hilda. So thank you.
Don't go anywhere, Chris, because Chris is now going to introduce Kevin Dabrowski.
Kevin, like a lot of tenured Don associates, has been able to move up the ladder. Has been in a lot of positions. I know once you reach this 25-year mark, you have done a lot. And that shows in Kevin. He has a lot of expertise. Started out inventory clerk, moved up to night supervisor, inventory project manager, inventory control manager. I know he's helped onboard a lot of buildings with moves, helped onboard inventory with SAP integration. Has been a huge help to our operation. We would not be as successful as we are without his dedication. It's been a big push around the organization with slotting, inventory-wise, and Kevin takes his work home with him, and it shows. Planning, for now, planning for the future. A lot of curveballs come our way, and we're ahead of the curve because of Kevin. So thank you. He helps a lot with other DCs, their inventory department as well. A lot of training, and that has started to show as well in their success. So Kevin, thank you.
So Chris Perillo is very cool. He's wearing a 3/4 zip, and I'm wearing a shirt, and I'm sweating, and he's not. So next, Tim Walter is going to introduce David Hamilton.
So let's talk about irony. I'm the newer person in the company saying wonderful words about David Hamilton, who's been here 25 years. If you don't know me, I am Tim Walter. I'm the head of IT. I do want to thank everybody for sending me the emails after the fact. Yes, you clicked on it. It's too late. You can't do it. All right? But let's talk about David. So David, for 25 years, has been with us. If you don't know David, you haven't been in SAP enough. David really is the one who drives SAP forward from an IT business process. He's the go-to person. He leads his team with strong leadership, making sure they're keeping the systems running 24 hours a day so that all of you can be successful. So please join me in congratulating David in 25 long years.
I know people don't talk to each other very much anymore. It's all email, Teams chat, but David Hamilton definitely has the best voice at Edward Don & Company, so if you've never talked to him, you got to talk to him. He's phenomenal. Now we're celebrating 30 years of service, and Adam Helzer is going to introduce Bob Stefanski.
Hey, I'm not a big talker, so I'll keep this short and sweet. So I've had the pleasure of working with Bob over the years. He's done a lot for Edward Don, supporting telephony back when we had the old Siemens phone system and then migrating over to Teams. He's done a lot of work with customer service, getting their calls routed properly with call tower, keeping teams up and operational for everybody, supporting some of the networking stuff. He helps out with the server patching too to keep our environment secure. So if you've had the pleasure of working with him like I have, then you probably know that he's a hard worker, he's dependable, and an all-around good guy. So let's hear it for Bob Stefanski.
Oh no.
Oh no. That's what I figured.
35 years.
All right, Steve.
Brenda Graves. Tracy, Armida, come on up.
Wish me luck. Well, I promised short and sweet, so here goes. And to be honest, Brenda doesn't really need much of an introduction, because if you know, you know. But if you don't know, most of the FD team has worked together for so long we feel kind of more like family than coworkers. And we're definitely more Adam's family than Brady Bunch, but hey, family's family, right? So, like family often forgets to do, I simply want to just say thank you for all your hard work and dedication and the countless laughs and always knowing where we stand with you. And I look forward to remaining family for as long as you choose to put up with us. And congratulations on a well-deserved and well-earned 35 years.
Next up, 45 years of service. I'm going to have Roger Mellum and Jen Maloney come up to introduce Mary Ellen Norris.
Come on, Jennifer. You got to come up, Jen. So 45 years is just incredible. She's done a variety of different jobs within those 45 years, but for as long as I can remember, she's been on the national account side. She has been the support person and the lead person for Panera Bread since we first signed them up. They had 200 restaurants, now they have 2,500. And I could talk a lot, but instead I'm going to read a letter that I got from our main contact at Panera Bread, who took the time, shot this over the other day. Put my glasses on because I'm almost. All right, this is from Phil O'Connell. So Phil is on the culinary team and operations from Panera Bread. And I'll just read it. It's fairly short, but here's Phil's words. In my 26 years of being part of our wonderful Panera Bread family, both as a franchisee and part of the culinary team, I have had the opportunity to work with the Don organization for 35 years. I've been involved in countless wide-ranging concepts, which I'm sure you would have been much harder or maybe even impossible to operate without Jen and definitely Mary Ellen. Knowing Mary Ellen as well as I do, I'm sure she would prefer not to be recognized, and I can account for that. She would rather not be standing there. But this is her own fault for the high level of expertise and expediency that she produces. Mary Ellen always meets and exceeds my expectations. She responds to emails immediately and always picks up my calls, and I call a lot. Just today, I had 3 critical items that I had to deal with, and 2 of them were information that I needed for a planning meeting. Not surprisingly, within an hour, I had everything I needed from Mary Ellen. Mary Ellen, I want to thank you and the Don team on behalf of everyone at Panera. Today we want to celebrate you and say thank you for being you. Panera, and especially I, appreciate you and everything you do for the brand. I'm sorry I couldn't be there personally to attend, but I'm out in the field generating more work for you. So thank you and congratulations from Phil O'Connell.
Sure. Okay. Over here, man. Okay. You still can't.
when we moved in 2012, Mary Ellen wasn't sure if she was going to come because it was a long way. So we're glad that you've continued to come every day. Last but not least, going to have Chris Pillarello come back up to introduce Ricky Timchak. 50 years of service.
Truly, that is incredible. Rick started in obviously 1973. A new home was $32,000, so puts that into perspective, especially in today's market. How truly incredible being anywhere 50 years is. In the warehouse for 50 years is it something else. It speaks for itself. I couldn't imagine me being here 15 years, let alone 50. But in my opinion, what's even more impressive than the service time is for 50 years, and I'm doing a lot of assuming because I wasn't born most of that, is that Rick has been an exemplary employee. To this day, he remains one of our most productive workers. He is someone to go to for historical questions on Don, anything special we need out there. We can trust Rick will do it properly, and most importantly, he is the most reliable person we have. I went back in your file, Rick, this big, tiny, small file, back to 1985, and I couldn't find a single call off. You were late once in 2000, but you get a pass on that. It's hard to find a better guy than Rick, and Don's lucky to have someone like him. So thank you, Rick, for all these years.
So 1973, I think we had just moved into North Riverside, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, 1 year old. Well, thank you all. So great amount of tenure for the team, and whether we've got our newest employee right here, got a lot to look forward to 50 plus years. So again, thank you for everybody for all you do on a daily basis. And look forward to a strong end of the year. It's hard to believe it's September. It doesn't really feel like that. The good news is fall has been pretty good. Hope everybody has a great weekend.